Morning, boys and girls. I'm happy to come to you today and share with you some exciting news. Lucia wants to be your pen pal. Now, for those of you who don't know Lucia, she is the wonderful reading dog that comes to our school and reads with several boys and girls. And we're so lucky now because she wants to read with all of you. She's going to read you one of her favorite stories in just a moment with her owner. And they have two specific things they want you to do after you're done listening to the story. The first thing is that Lucia is really bored. She wants you to write to her as a pen pal, and she wants you to send it to Mrs. Burdett's email, and this is my email, burdettj@ogdensd.org. You can also write to her buddy Ike. Ike's in the story. You'll learn about him pretty soon. The second task she would like you to do is to make a reward poster. Hang it up in your neighborhood. You can hang it up on the windows, on the lamppost, next to your mailbox, somewhere that Lucia can see it as she's walking through your neighborhood. She's really excited to see these reward posters. They'll be explained to you more when she reads the story. I hope you enjoy this video of Lucia and Mrs. Horsley reading to you.
Good morning, students from Polk School and Wasatch Schools, second graders especially. Lucia is bored, and so am I, so we thought we would read you a story this morning, and hope you enjoy it. It's called Dear Mrs. LaRue, Letters from Obedience School. And just so you know it, Lucia went to Obedience School and even won a blue ribbon, so she is a pretty good dog, as you all know. The book begins with a letter from Ike. Dear anyone who will listen, and that means all of you stuff. Have you ever been unjustly punished, banished to your room, denied your favorite foods? Then you will relate to the hardship and woe I'm enduring while locked up. Trust me when I tell you I'm being horribly mistreated here, and I grow sadder and lonelier, not to mention skinnier by the hour. Can somebody please tell Mrs. LaRue, my owner, my person, to come and get me right away? Sincerely, the loyal and misunderstood Ike LaRue. So, students, we begin with headlines that say, the Hibbins cat, I know you don't like cats, are missing, and that Ike is suspected of having taken them. Mrs. Hibbins says, I simply can't imagine them leaving on their own, said owner Lorena Hibbins. My darlings wouldn't dream of upsetting me like that. Supporting Mrs. Hibbins' story was the capture in Gruber Park of local dog Ike LaRue. LaRue was apprehended while attempting to bury a bag of cat treats. Oh yeah. Ike has always had it in for my cats, said Mrs. Hibbins. I just want to know what he did to them this time. The dog's owner, Gertrude LaRue, is currently vacationing in Europe. Ike will be kept in jail at police headquarters pending the investigation. So, look at Ike in jail, playing his harmonica. There's even a tear. Look, Lucia. Oh, I know. Isn't that sad? Yes, it is. What do you think? So, students, Ike is sad, and Lucia is a little bit too. Dear Mrs. LaRue, I hate to disrupt your vacation, but you must return immediately. An unfortunate misunderstanding, as well as very sloppy police work, has landed me in jail. The case involves the Hibbins cats, who have mysteriously disappeared. As usual, everyone blames the dog, without even considering whether the cats might be guilty of something. Needless to say, reports that I was attempting to steal their strangely yummy cat treats are entirely false. Come home now. Sincerely, Ike. So, who wants him to come home, Chief? So, here's a picture. You see those cats? Look, do you see those cats? Oh, and there's Ike. And games. So students, if you were Ike and you were the policeman, what kind of games do you think they're playing? Dear Mrs. LaRue, the police continue to interrogate or question me about what happened to the Hibbins cats. I wish I knew. The last I saw of them, they were sunbathing in Gruber Park. I went to retrieve their cat treats, which they'd foolishly left by the swings, and when I returned, they were gone. I know Mrs. Hibbins is upset, but I'm sure she'll get over it. Between you and me, they weren't very good cats anyway. Sincerely, Ike, and imagine how I feel cooped up in this loathsome or hateful dungeon. Students, Ike and Lucia both need pen pals. Maybe you could write to one of them or the other. I mean, look how bored she is. And Ike is so sad in there. And look at those naughty cats. Gee, look at those naughty cats. Do you like cats? No. And look at the games they're playing. Dear Mrs. LaRue, if you really want to know why I was in Gruber Park, the truth is that I was doing Mrs. Hibbins a favor. The cats had threatened to damage her apartment, as only cats can, unless I let them out for some fresh air. Reluctantly, I agreed. Now it appears they had more in mind than a simple walk. That's it, Chia. Oh my goodness, you see those cats, don't you? I have learned my lesson. P.S. No, I don't think it would be best for me to remain with the nice police until you finish your vacation. So students, what do you think Mrs. LaRue wrote to Ike for Ike to say that? He's in jail. Dear Mrs. LaRue, I can't begin to tell you how dire or bad the situation has become. Mrs. Hibbins insists that I am responsible for losing her cats, plus she's managed to convince everybody that they were rare and valuable. Nobody stops to consider how unlikely that is, but nothing is being done to find them. Apparently, it's easier for some people to blame a dog than to solve a crime. In fact, the police claim to be working on other matters, so I'm going to have to solve this all by myself. Your intrepid or brave dog, Ike. Besides, it has become shockingly apparent that you do not intend to come and get me. We're going to break off the story here, students. What do you think Ike will do? Can you do two things for me? First of all, can you either write a letter or a note to Lucia, who's very bored here, or to Ike in jail, who's very, very sad, and see if you can cheer them up. And maybe they'll write back, so to one of them or the other. And secondly, can you make a poster, a wanted poster, and put the pictures of the two cats in there with the reward, and then you decide what the reward would be, and then can you put that either in your window, on your doors, on lampposts, all around the neighborhood, and when Lucia and I walk around the neighborhood, we will see those and count those, and maybe if you're in your house, you could open the door and go, hi, hi. So that's what we'll do until the next part of the story. And in the meantime, wash your paws, just like Lucia. Bye now.